What's up guys, my name is Ace, and very recently we just got some major leaks on Infinite Warfare. These all appear to be pretty legit. They are from a reliable source that has leaked information on Call of Duty games in the past, and they've almost always been 100% accurate. So today, as well as throughout this week, I'm going to be skipping my live commentary series because we're going to be covering a bunch of these leaks and what it could mean for the final game of Infinite Warfare. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so I want to start this off by saying all of the sources that I use are linked down in the description below, so if you want to check all that out, where this all comes from, please go and do that. Also, nothing here is 100% confirmed. It all basically just comes from some in-game code, and a lot of the times the in-game code isn't really all that accurate. Sometimes they have unused assets like that you won't actually see in the final game, or they'll have reused assets from previous games that don't end up in the final game. And some of it also a lot of times is titled a little bit weird, where it doesn't really represent what we see and what it actually does in the real game. So just keep that in mind. None of this is confirmed, but it's likely that a bunch of it will be accurate. So first up, let's get into the special modes. It looks like we're going to have 3 special modes. I'm talking modes aside from multiplayer and campaign. First off, we're going to have zombies, and the reveal for zombies I believe is actually going to be tomorrow. It's coming very, very soon. There's been all kinds of hints at it and stuff. So we are going to have zombies, and from everything in the code, it appears they're going to be using essentially the exact same engine as Treyarch uses for their zombies, which is great. So that means the zombies are going to move the same. Everything's going to really feel the same as Treyarch zombies, or very, very similar. And then they'll likely put a few of their own little twists into this mode. Next up, we have Ship Assault. So for this one, essentially we're going to be flying in space in one of those Jackal spaceships, which we've seen in trailers and stuff. And we're going to be attacking battleships or destroyers or something like in space. And it looks like this might also be a co-op mode, although at this point it seems there is no matchmaking for this. So it seems like it's like only a co-op local mode, so you can play with your friends like split screen and stuff, but you can't play online. At least that's how it seems to be in its current state. Maybe in the future you will be able to team up with people and fly around and have these space battles and try to destroy major ships. Finally, we have a base building mode. So for this one, we don't really know if this is going to be first person or if it's going to be kind of like Dead Ops Arcade, where it's an arcade style game where you're like looking from above and everything. That's really unconfirmed at this point. It would be really cool if this was first person, and I hope it is, but it may end up being more of that Dead Ops Arcade style where you're looking from above and controlling everything. But essentially with this one, it looks like we have to build a base. You can put like turrets and walls and anti-air things and sniper towers and all this kind of stuff to defend against hordes of enemies. I'm really excited to see more about this mode and see like what it's really going to be like. Is it going to be first person, or are we going to be looking from above? I think that's really what's going to make or break this game mode for me, whether or not I really want to play it. If it is first person, I'm very, very excited for this mode. So that's it for the 3 special game modes. Next, we'll have a look at maps, and we don't have too much information on maps, and with this, there is a lot of uncertainty. It appears that we might see Dome as well as Fallen from Modern Warfare 3. They might be returning, and then there's also a bunch of hints at a ton of other Modern Warfare 3 maps. Again, these could just be reused assets from Modern Warfare 3 that are just still stuck in the code. Or it could be hints at future DLC where they're basically remaking those maps and they're going to be packaging them with future DLC. We really don't know anything at this point. I don't want to assume too much, but it does seem likely that we are going to see at least a few Modern Warfare 3 maps return. And for me at least, I like the idea of having Modern Warfare 3 maps return rather than Ghost maps because, in my opinion, Modern Warfare 3 maps were just superior on average. Moving on to the next topic, which a lot of you guys are probably going to hate. Supply drops. Looks like supply drops are going to be returning, and this really isn't a big surprise. Activision came out earlier this year and said they broke all kinds of records for post-release sales on a game, and that's no surprise with Black Ops 3. Tons and tons of people have been buying COD points and stuff to get their supply drops, and they're breaking all kinds of records, and it's essentially become their business plan at this point. So, to me, it's absolutely no surprise whatsoever that supply drops are returning. Do I like it? Absolutely not. I'm not a fan of this, especially because, once again, it seems we're going to have non-cosmetic items in these drops. So we're actually going to have guns and potentially even gun variants with these supply drops. It looks like they might be doing sort of a hybrid system between Advanced Warfare and Black Ops 3 with their supply drops. It looks like within the game code there are like 3 or 4 different variants of each gun, or at least several of the guns in the game. So there's like common, rare, and legendary and epic. and it seems like we might have like a base gun again that has different variants that are going to have slightly different stats. And I'm really not a fan of this system. I am not happy about this at all, but it is something that I come to expect, and it doesn't surprise me whatsoever. So I guess we're just going to have to suck it up for another year with supply drops. Moving on to the loadouts, it seems like they're going with more of a Black Ops 3 approach to the loadouts. So it doesn't look like the perk system from Ghosts is going to be returning, where you could essentially pick any perk you wanted and they were just worth different values. It seems the tiered system is coming back, and they've also changed up the way the specialist system works. They're having a very similar sort of system to Specialist Return, but it's definitely going to be different as well. So basically you do get to choose your power weapon, it seems, and it'll be similar to like the Specialist power weapon, but that one doesn't hinge on which character you choose or which type of character you choose. Also, it appears we don't have actual character names and stuff with their backstories. We don't have that, we just have different types of players that we can choose. Different archetypes, essentially. So you can choose like a medic, a sniper, an assassin. There might be like various different ones of those. We are going to be going into much more detail on the loadouts in a future video here, because there is so much information that I can easily make an entire video going into great detail on what we know about these loadouts so far based on the code. But just know it looks like it's going to be very similar to Black Ops 3 system with a few additions made. Finally, just a few extra little tidbits here. It seems like they worked on the AI callout system. So if you guys remember from Ghosts, a lot of times you'd actually hear the characters in games, the AI characters, not people talking on their microphones. The AI characters, if they saw an enemy, they would actually call out their position. It seems like they've improved that system a lot and made it so it's a lot more accurate. They found some sound files in the code, and there are multiple callouts for a certain building or something. So it might be like north side of this building, upper level or something like that, rather than just he's in the building somewhere or he's in the open. So it seems like they have improved that system a little bit. Also, there are some hints that there might be some Levolution type stuff that happens, where basically the entire map changes, or at least an event happens within the map that changes up a certain area of the map. It appears this might happen, but again, we're just looking at in-game code and like titles of things within the in-game code, so it doesn't really tell us too much. It's a bit of an assumption at this point. Another thing that we've already kind of known, it's already been kind of hinted at, but this pretty much confirms it. Again, not 100% confirms, but pretty much seems to confirm it. Wall running and double jumping and sliding is in this game, so it appears the movement system is going to be very similar to Black Ops 3. There are challenges that were found within the in-game code that relate to wall running as well as sliding and boost jumping, so it does appear that the movement system will be very similar to Black Ops 3. I don't know what sort of changes they're going to be making, but we will have to wait and find out once we see some actual gameplay. Finally, one last thing is it looks like taunts and gestures might be returning as well. There were a few hints within the code here that say that there are like different poses and stuff that you can unlock. We don't know if it's going to be exactly the same as Black Ops 3, where it just shows at the end of the game, or what exactly is going to happen, but there are definitely some hints at taunts and gestures returning. So there we have it. That's the more general look at the leaks that came out so far. There's lots and lots of detail that I didn't cover in this video. I wanted to go over more like the general stuff right now. And then throughout this week, there will be a couple videos where I go into great detail, like all of the perks that seem to be confirmed in the game, as well as all the kill streaks that also seem to be confirmed in the game modes. We've also got power weapons and power abilities, all of that kind of stuff I will be covering in individual videos coming throughout the next week or two. So be ready for a lot of Infinite Warfare content. I will be mixing that in alongside my normal Black Ops 3 content. So I'd like to know in the comment section below, what really stood out to you in these leaks? Is there something you're really not happy about, or is there something you really are happy about? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.